What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're back with another tier list video. In the previous month's tier list, I did give you guys a bit of an option as to whether you wanted to go with the older style of tier list with a graphic that I would make, or do you guys want to stick with the tier maker tier list? And 75% of people liked the tier maker tier list, so this is what we're going to be sticking with for now on. Now, before we get into this tier list, I need to talk about, what kind of criteria I have for selecting my characters in the tiers that I give them in. So first of all, obviously the power of the legend, how strong they are in terms of damage output, their speed, so can they clear content relatively quickly, which not all people will enjoy or really care about, but a lot of players enjoy content that can be run quickly with legends. How reliable are they? So can they clear content reliably, and do they, basically rely on RNG to clear content? And if they do, then that's not very good, right? What is their clear rate as a captain? So is there content that they legit cannot clear? And also their usability and versatility. So that will also be playing a part as into their sub usage and how good they are as a sub. So in this tier list today, we have every single legend in the game. I'm not going to talk about every single legend. A lot of the legends, a lot of people would already understand where they would be placed. So we've only got, we've got 6 tiers and then one for everything else. So tier 0 to tier 5. And the new additions here, obviously V3 lore. We've got Marco 6+, and then we've also got the 2 new debuting legends with the Arlong crew and the Shanks crew. So those are the new additions here. Let's start things off. We'll go through every single character, put them in where I would think. And I know some people actually said, oh, you shouldn't put in all characters because it kind of makes a mess. But at the same time, there's going to be, certain periods where certain characters are actually going to move up from everything else tier to tier 5, tier 4, whatever it may be. Like, for example, Fujitora, when he gets his 6+, yeah, he's not going to be in the everything else tier. He's actually pretty good with his super evolution, so of course he's going to get bumped up. So I do want to include every single legend here, just in case people were wondering about, oh, you didn't have X character. Well, I want to make sure that everyone knows where I think they are, and obviously I'm not going to have like a billion different tiers because it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of manage at that point. But no one really cares about the bottom tier characters. Everyone cares about, the top tier units. Who are the top tier units? So in this video today, I want to give you guys my thoughts and opinions as to where these characters are all going to be placed. So let's get into it. So, Log Luffy, Fujitora, Blackbeard, Timeskip Luffy, Whitebeard. Remember, Whitebeard's very good for PvP. So when PvP rolls around, I will likely do a monthly tier list for PvP because it's so different compared to generic play. I will probably be doing that, so look forward to it when version 10.0 drops, hopefully sometime soon. V1 Boa, Sabo, who is still okay. He's an attack booster for Free Spirit, but he's okay. Usopp's good for niche content, but I don't think he's worth putting up into these tiers, personally speaking, but he does have usage. Rayleigh, I'm going to put into tier 3. Now, he's just amazing in terms of utility, support effect. Honestly, he could be tier 2, honestly. He really could. I'm going to leave him as tier 3 for now, but he is very, very good. One of the best legends in terms of his age. I'm actually, it's pretty shocking to see Rayleigh, still this good this day and age. He just keeps getting better and better over time. 7 turns of Bind Despair and Paralysis removal is so good, especially with that Sailor effect where he can consistently get his special to launch multiple times per run. Ridiculously useful. Lucci is trash. Shanks, Boa, V2 Law. I'm going to put him in everything else tier. This guy, no. Lucy, I think, is still relatively good. This is obviously the 6-star version. I do have the 6+ one here as well. Yeah. So I guess we'll leave him in tier 3. I think that's still a relatively good spot for him. But again, once we put more characters on here, I'll be able to move them around, and then we could probably solidify a decision as we go. Ace is not very good. Judge is still usable as a sub. 2 times orb boost and 7 turns of bind removal is really good still, so definitely still see some play. Hody Jones I still think is relatively good. He doesn't see a lot of play, but damage reduction and cooldown reduction for the Powerhouse class is still okay. He's just fine. He's just okay. I think he is still not bad. I personally do use him a decent amount, but he's not like a god tier unit by any means. Mihawk is okay, but normal attacks only kind of wrecks him. Rayleigh is still okay. He's in the same tier as Judge in terms of usability as a sub and can be put on a lot of different teams. V2 Dofi is still okay, but normal attacks only just ruins him. Zoro, he's got a good support, by the way, but pretty average. This law is still okay. Cerebral are a good class, and that's the main reason why I would put him up here in tier 5, but he's not anything amazing by any stretch. Crocodile is not very good. You're not very good. He's got a good support. This Barto's got a great support, but only attaches to like Cavendish and Robin, I think, so not that amazing. Luffy and Ace, I guess he's still alright. You know, he's a free spirit captain, can still be used to clear content, but nothing god tier. This law is still pretty good, see some play, allowing your specials to bypass defensive effects, but again, normal attacks only kind of makes his special a bit redundant in certain circumstances, so that kind of sucks. Shanks is still pretty good as a sub. I think I'll leave him for there for now, because his captain ability is actually still relatively usable. Like, if you're in a Kizuna clash, you could definitely use him as a captain still. And he does have a limit break expanded captain effect, which makes him a little better, I suppose. But again, nothing like god tier at all. V2 Akainu I still think is very good, usable in a lot of those GARP challenges, of course, and he can hybrid up with a lot of the other good characters in the game, so I do think V2 Akainu is still very, very good. Cruzan is also very good, but I don't think he's as good as Akainu right now, but he is still good. Kizaru is garbage. Buggy is also garbage, don't at me. Jinbei, I'm going to say is... Where would I put Jinbei? Jinbei is very good, but he doesn't have a good support effect like Rayleigh does. But in terms of usability, yeah, he does see a lot of play. To remove 5 turns of Rainbow Shield, 5 turns of Blue Shield, and a full board of matching slots for your fighter characters, it is good. And plus, he's a powerhouse unit, so he can be put on some of the best teams in the game, so amazing. Quick Gear 4 is still pretty good. I would guess he's like the same tier as Lucy, I would say. Yeah, I guess that's about right. His captain effect's still okay. He's got a good special too. He'd probably be about here. He's still alright, yeah. I don't know. We have to wait until we get more characters on here before we can swap and change units around. But I think Gear 4 Luffy, the quick one, is still alright. Zoro, yeah, he's on this tier. He's like in the same tier as these guys in terms of usability as a sub. 4 guaranteed slots, 200k fixed AoE, 3.25 chain lock. Plus, when he gets his limit break expansion, his captain ability is very, very good. So that's good. Judge, I guess he's in the same tier as his regular version. That's fine. V2 Sanji. I hate V2 Sanji. I really do. I really do hate him, but he's not that bad. He's okay. He's okay. His usability as a sub is not very good. His captain ability also not that great in my opinion, but don't hate me for that, but I'm not a big fan of V2 Sanji. Magellan doesn't see much play. Whitebeard and Marco are still very good. I'd say they're a tier 2 at least. They're still very, very good. Can clear a lot of content still. I know a lot of people don't like to use them because of the way that they function, but you can't deny the fact that they clear a lot of content with ease, and they have access to a lot of really good characters. Plus, they're a Whitebeard and Marco unit, so you can attach like Ace supports to them and stuff like that. Corazon is definitely same tier as Rayleigh. Wherever Rayleigh goes, this guy's probably going to be following him in terms of the tier that he's in. Amazing support, great special ability, and this guy actually has a decent captain effect when he gets his limit break expansion. Well, I think he's got it right now on global, but I wouldn't say it's worth it, but he does get a somewhat buff to his captain effect, which is interesting to say the least. Shiki, I guess I'm going to leave him tier 5. He does have some usage, and I know some people say, oh yeah, but I don't use Shiki. I personally don't use Shiki a lot either, but he is still actually able to be used as a captain, so I'm going to leave him there for now. He's not great by any stretch, but you still can use him. NL, no, he's pretty unusable nowadays. Brook, some people like him, not me. This Sanji is okay. He has a great support effect, but I guess any side content this Sanji actually still destroys to this day, but outside of that, he doesn't really see that much play. He's not, like, amazing. Garp is a pretty good sub still. Special bind removal, 30% health cut, 3 times chain lock. Still really good. I can't wait till we get his 6+, because his 6+ is really good. Jinbei, I'm going to leave him in tier 5. He's basically a nerfed version of Lucy in a lot of ways. He's basically like, he's like Stampede Luffy without the utility in his captain effect, basically. So that is what it is. I mean, he's not great. I can't wait to see his 6+ on JP, though. It's going to be pretty interesting. Frankie is still alright. I'm going to leave Frankie in tier 4. He is still usable. In Kizuna clashes, he's not bad. Usable for other content as well. If there's any content with blowaway, like on Interrupt, if they blow away your characters, he's a really good character to combat that. But he makes for your fighter teams really good. Even though he himself is not a fighter, when you have your captain action into General Frankie, your fighter characters hit for like a 5 times multiplier or something. It's pretty ridiculous. So that's something to think about. Capone, I think Capone is like a tier 3 character. His captain effect is basically outclassed by Halloween Ace in pretty much every facet. But the thing about him is that he has Big Father. Big Father is such a huge mechanic that can block poison, it can block burn damage, it can block death damage, like it can block a lot of things. Blow away as well, like it's so good. And I do think that he is a better character compared to Frankie because his Big Father can last for multiple turns, whereas General Frankie can only last in the turn that you activate it, which is a bit of a downside. So that's where I rate that. Zephyr, Zephyr's okay. He's nearly in this tier, I would say, but he does have a good usage as a sub. His special isn't terrible, but not great either. I guess that's a pretty fair spot to put him. Carrot is really good still. I think Carrot is still a tier 2 character, maybe tier 3. She's in this realm here, around here. As for where I'd put her, though, I guess we'll leave her tier 3. Nah, she is a tier 2 character. She's definitely just as good as these guys. Obviously, for long content and high difficulty content, Carrot isn't going to be your unit of choice, but she does have a lot of usability still, being one of the best captains in the game for clearing content extremely quickly, and avoiding all defensive effects is always going to be useful to have for sure. Cavendish is garbage. Snake Man, my boy. Snake Man is tier 0 right now on global still, no doubt in my mind. He's going to be tier 0 for a pretty decent amount of time. I think when the super type stuff comes out, we'll have to probably have a think about that. But currently on global, yeah, I do think he's still a tier 0. V2 Katakuri, he's up here for sure. Now, is he tier 1 or is he tier 2? Personally speaking, I haven't used him as much over the past couple of months. I'd probably leave him as tier 2, but he is still really good. He is still really good. He's got a great captain effect still, but he is so slow compared to everything else that's in the meta that's in a tier 1 or tier 0 position. So for that reasoning, I guess I'll put him down a tier just because his speed is horrible. But everything else, like his power is really good still. He's relatively reliable, I would say. He's got reasonably high clear rate, and his usability and versatility as a sub is also pretty good. But again, if you're in that type of mindset of wanting to clear stuff fast, Katakuri is not going to be your go-to, that's for sure. Inu is not very good. Good for PvP, though. Neither is this guy. Barto and Cavendish, I think they're a very solid spot for tier 1. The only thing about Barto and Cavendish I don't like is that they're a Driven booster, and Driven are not great right now. But they're still pretty good. You can't deny, you know, their survivability, their damage, their defensive effects, their offensive effects. There's a lot going for them that I really do enjoy, but Driven as a class isn't all that. They need some buffs for sure. Jack, I'm going to leave in tier 5. He's nice to have, but not like a god tier unit that's going to help you clear a lot of content. But he's okay. He's nice to have for sure. Boa, she's okay as well. Like these are like the okay units pretty much. Free Spirit Captain, Free Spirit Color Affinity Boost. I'm not a big fan of her special. I like the effects that the original Boa had. Like the original V2 Boa, the fact that with her special you got multiple turns of beneficial orb enable. I have no idea why they removed that from this 6+. It doesn't make any sense to me. If she had that orb enabling buff, she would be like a tier 4 character, maybe even tier 3, but the fact is when you're using her, it's a little difficult to get matching slots. You have to use like other characters to get those guaranteed slots for you, whereas with V2 Boa, this one, the original one, you didn't have to do that, which is kind of annoying. Dex Sabo is still alright. His captain effect basically does not see play, but as a sub for Free Spirit, fighters and shooters, giving you an orb boost and a chain lock in the same turn is pretty good, but at the same time, if you have Luffy Zoro, you basically don't need this guy, because Luffy Zoro is a buffed version of this guy, but I guess for shooter teams, he's still good. For fighter teams, he's still good. He himself is not a Free Spirit yet. I think he's a fighter shooter, right? I think that's how he's structured. So he's just okay. He just doesn't see that much play. He's not all that. He does need better sailor effects. If I look him up real quick, Sabo. I don't think his sailor effects are really good. Let me have a look. 10 MM recovery beneficial for fighter, shooter, and Free Spirit. That is actually pretty good. And then some stat boosting as well. Look, he's good, but he's just not needed. He's just not required. He's alright still. He's just okay. Like, this is the tier with a lot of good subs, so yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Dex Sabo. It's just a very unrequired unit for content, I feel. It was weird. Even on release, he wasn't like used that much, and his captain effect is really annoying to use because you have to continuously kill shit every turn. Otherwise, you're in a little bit of trouble. Dex Sabo is a really interesting one. I don't think he's higher than this tier though. I don't think he's as good as these ones up here. Like, I would much rather have every one of these units over Sabo, personally. But, you know, I actually did use him to clear one of the Revolutionary Army Garp challenges. I think for the shooter one, I actually used him as a sub. So that was really nice to have. But again, he's just okay. He's just okay. This Dofi is... He's probably in this tier. He's very close. It's just Driven as well. Driven is just kind of meh. Driven just kind of eh. Sanji Judge, I love this unit. I don't care what anyone says. I think they are easy tier 1 worthy. No doubt in my mind. If you disagree, then I'm sorry. We just can't be friends, because Sanji and Judge are still, to this day, even on Japan, still one of the best Powerhouse subs in the game. And you can use them as a captain still. Of course you can. But as a sub on Powerhouse teams, dude, he is so good. Paralysis removal, 2 times attack and orb booster, the switch effect to give you the chain boosting mechanic. It's very, very strong. I love this unit to bits. So good. And plus it's a Sanji unit, so you can apply lots of good supports to it too. Really good unit. Cracker. I'm going to say they're tier 2. Tier 2 is very fair. His captain ability is a little much to be desired, but very powerful sub usage. Great sailor effects as well, with limit break expansion and having that lower cooldown. That's a very powerful special ability to have, no doubt. Very, very good. Not much else I need to say about that. The V2 slashes, they pretty much will go together, I feel. I think they're easily tier 4, yeah. The combination of V2 Zoro and V2 Mihawk together is pretty deadly still. And that can do wonders for the slashes, right? But it's just a matter of like, you know, do you want to use V2 Mihawk for slashes, or would you rather use Luffy and Zoro? I know which one I'd rather use. Next is V1 Big Mom. I'm going to leave her in tier 5. I think I'd much rather have every single character in tier 4 over V1 Big Mom, personally speaking. But in PvP, once that rolls around, V1 Big Mom is going to see a lot of play, and you'll be happy to have her, that's for sure. V2 Fuji is trash. Luffy Law. Okay, here we go. Luffy Law's easy tier 0, no doubt in my mind, no real reason to really talk about it. Amazing usage as a captain, great usage as a sub. He can apply some of the best support effects in the game. Support Sengoku, support Sabo, Corazon, Rayleigh. There's countless amazing supports you can apply here on Luffy and Zoro. Raid Zoro for color affinity too. Like, there's so many good units you can apply here. So for that reason, easy tier 0. And if you think he's not tier 0, then you're actually just a glue eater. V2 Big Mom is probably gonna be same tier as Cracker. Captain ability basically doesn't see play. She's a pretty terrible captain, but her sub usage is fantastic. A 3.5 chain lock for 1 turn. The stat boosting mechanic is also really good, but I believe she only gets a certain buff if you're above 50% HP, isn't it? Why can I not find her int? V2 Big Mom, right? Because as a sub, if HP is above 50%, you get the 3.5 chain lock. Right, yeah. So if you basically do not... If you're below 50%, you don't get the main thing that she's going to be good for, which is unfortunate. So that's a pretty big downside to the character, but in Kizuna clashes and stuff, you can definitely find ways to still make use of that. So that's good. 3.5 chainlock is no like slaps. That's fantastic still. Sabo and Koala, yep, they are definitely tier 0. No doubt in my mind still, they are not going anywhere. Cerebral Free Spirit Captain, Color Affinity Switch, Guaranteed Matching Slot, remove Despair and Paralysis off themselves with the switch. Amazing Captain effect, getting up to 4.5, 2.25 attack boost to those 2 classes, removes the non-beneficial orb enabling buff, gets rid of block orbs, changes badly matching slots into matching as well. Like, this unit is amazing and is not going anywhere. This unit is way too good to be dropping down from tier 0. It's going to be a long while before they do that. Still very, very good. Cat Dog, one of my favorite legends in the game. They're very, very cool. I'm going to leave him as tier 2. The captain effect, I think, it needs a bit of a buff in my opinion, but their usability as a sub still for Cerebral and Striker. Attack, orb boost, and color affinity is really good, right? So you get attack and color affinity on turn 1, and then after hitting only 2 perfects, you get the orb boost in the following turn. So very good. They're very good. Another good unit for Kizuna clashes as well. Like, if you've got Cat Dog and Sabo and Koala, you can do some pretty cool shenanigans with those 2 in particular. V1 Akainu, another really good PvP unit, but as for right now, mono strength isn't all that, so I think I'm going to leave him here for now, but once we get V2 Snake Man with the super type, he's going to be bumped up a little bit because he can actually see play. You know, you can run a hybrid team, and his support effect is amazing for V2 Snake Man as well, so just some things you need to keep in mind for when, you know, the new characters be dropping. Nami is really good still. I'm going to leave her in tier 3 because I love her sailor effects and I love her special. And her captain will actually see play once the super type kid comes out, as you can run a hybrid team if you don't own your own legend kid. You can run a pretty decent dex team with that. I don't know if too many JP players are doing it, but I guess if you don't have your own kid and you need to run kid as a captain, then I guess Nami's going to be one of your best options. But amazing special ability still. Really good special. Removing paralysis and burn, and then a color affinity and orb boost to 4 classes in the game. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Viva Rebecca. Tier 1. No doubt. Captain ability is trash. I hate the captain ability personally. I know some people like it and they can build teams around it, but I hate the fact where you only get a huge boost if you're attacking with color affinity. So mob stages can be a bit tricky, but they're arguably the best sub in the game. Amazing switch, great special ability, very good for all that high difficulty GARP challenge content. The consistent healing is the big thing, and the fact is not only are you getting healing, which is great defensively, but allowing you to get a 2.5 chain lock, so offensively you can deal pretty good damage on mini boss stages or on mob stages where they might have a little more HP than normal. That is going to be very, very good to have. And then when you launch their special, not only are you getting color affinity for 2 turns for 2 classes, but you're also removing all turns of Rainbow and Blue Shield, which is very, very good. Viva Rebecca, easy tier 1. Shira Mancherry though, I think they are a little lower. Where would I put them? I think they're in this tier, personally speaking. Yeah, I think I would put him here. I don't think I would put them above. Maybe I would, because they've got good classes. Their classes are very good still, yeah. Their captain ability basically never sees play. I did see some people clear Revolutionary Army 2 with Shirahoshi Mancherry captain with friend Kaido. I know that there was a team that people were going around beating it with, so that's pretty cool. But personally speaking, I personally never use this unit as much as what I would hoped to have used this unit. But their special is really good, allowing you to get mass heal, full board of orbs, and then depending on how you apply those orbs, you can use their switch effect and then get those into rainbow orbs, which you can conserve for multiple stages with orb locking and stuff like that. There's some pretty cool shenanigans that you can do with Shirahoshi Mancherry, and you know, one of the only, or basically the only unit in the game that can remove normal attacks only. I guess Brook can as well. If you die and then revive, that can also get rid of it. So Shirahoshi Mancherry are very, very good units. Regular Shirahoshi, I'm going to say, is tier 5. Yeah, I'm going to leave her a tier 5. Stampede Luffy, I think he is easy tier 1. Amazing captain effect. The utility he provides is insane. He boosts essentially, give or take, 60% of the game. I know his special is like solo based on himself, and you know, it's very, very self-centered unit, but the passive utility is the big thing here with Stampede Luffy, and why I like him so much. He's great. Really, really love Stampede Luffy. Bullet, yeah, he's not going anywhere from tier 0. I've talked about him extensively in my previous tier list video, so if you want to see more opinions on Bullet, check out that previous video. But he's just nuts. If you just look at the text of the captain effect, arguably the best captain effect in the game, one of the best captain effects in the game. There's only probably one other captain effect that I would say rivals it, but amazing captain effect. It's so good. So good. Kaido. I'm going to put Kaido into tier 1 because under normal attacks only, he gets nerfed hardcore. And I've talked about this extensively, but under normal attacks only, Bullet's captain effect far exceeds whatever Kaido can do, no doubt. He's like, the Bullet captain effect is way too good, even under normal attacks only. Plus, you can hybrid Bullet up with a lot of really, really good captains. Not saying you can't do with Kaido either, because Kaido's got a lot of good hybrids too. But under the situation of normal attacks only, which is quite prevalent, Bullet still carries quite hard, I would say. V1 Katakuri, I kind of underrated him in the previous list. I'm going to put him in tier 2. I think he's pretty fair in this position here because he can still do some pretty nice stuff. But right now, yeah, I don't think he should... there's no way he goes above tier 2, in my opinion. And look, this is coming from a huge Katakuri fanboy. I don't want to put him up too high. I think tier 2 is the perfect positioning for him. Yeah, and if you think he's in tier 1, no, that's just incorrect. He's nowhere near as good as these characters in here. As much as I love Katakuri, you have to look at the facts. He just does not provide some of the things that these characters can do. So that's my opinion on that. Halloween Ace, yeah, he's going wherever Stampede Luffy goes, in my opinion. Just the passive utility is the big thing here. Great special too. Amazing support effect. He's definitely better than Stampede Luffy, in my opinion, because of his amazing special, which Stampede Luffy is good, but self-centered specials aren't always going to be great, and they kind of get power crept relatively quickly. I mean, we're going to see V2 Blackbeard relatively soon, who's essentially Stampede Luffy on steroids. But then you got Halloween Ace, who is a more well-rounded character, focuses on the team a lot more, and has the ability to remove special bind, special reverse by 10 turns, which is great. Massive health boost, so he's really tanky. He's an int unit, like Stampede Luffy, who's a Psy unit, so you can use the Megalo ship for additional tankiness. And a 2 point... He's his crew's own 2.5 attack booster, and he removes bind with his special too. So good. I love Halloween Ace. He's great. I'm really happy I pulled him finally. He's so good. V2 Nami? Tier 3. I think tier 3 is pretty fair. Tier 4 maybe. Her captain effect's pretty bad, but the only thing I don't like about Onami, which I talked about extensively, is that her special ability is essentially pointless if the enemy has full immunity buff. in that situation, there's literally no reason to bring this unit. However, if the enemy has any other immunity buff, it's fine. You can bring her. But if it's full immunity, she's useless. She's pretty bad. And I don't like her captain effect either. Komurasaki, I think, is one of the most underrated units in the game. She has 4 times flat boost, lots of beneficial slots, healing when you hit perfects, damage reduction, a 2 times attack and orb booster for her own team, and with her special, provides the full board of matching slots. This unit is crazy, and I feel like not enough people are talking about Komurasaki because she is awesome. Really, really powerful unit. She's so good. V2 Lucci, on the other hand, not so much. I'm going to put him down here in tier 5. I just don't use him. He's got a good support, I suppose, but paralysis and defense removal, he's a color affinity booster as well. He has the same problem that V2 Boa 6 Plus had, interestingly enough, because both of these guys' 6-star specials, they gave you some sort of way to get orbs, and then when they super evolved, they just removed the way to get matching orbs. I don't understand why. It was one of the great reasons why that character was so good. Like V2 Lucci, prior to his super evolution, when he was in his heyday, was like amazing, like arguably the best or second best legend at the time, you know, along with Neko Mamashi before they released Legend Lucy. And then they just went ahead and removed the way to get beneficial slots, which was one of the good reasons why people were using him. So I don't really understand that. Chopper is one of the best utility units in the game. He has a really good usage to get some dupe cotton candy. He's got. After pulling him, I do think, yeah, he's probably a tier 2 legend. He's nice to have for sure. The extra cotton candy's nice. 3.5 rainbow, great healing effects with his special, great utility with his special. What was his sailor effects again? Does he remove anything with his sailor effects? I don't remember actually. Yeah, he removes special bind off himself, right? So you can then use his special to remove additional special bind. So really good. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him tier 2 for now. Luffy Zoro, let's put him up into tier 1. I don't agree with them being tier 0. Some people might disagree, and that's completely fine. But personally speaking, I don't think that they will be in tier 0. I think that they're quite fair being here in tier 1. The fact is they're restricted to Slasher and Free Spirit, which is fine. You know, plenty of characters are restricted to certain classes, like Sabo, Koala are. But I just feel Sabo and Koala just provide more for their team rather than what Luffy and Zoro can provide. Their special's still really good, but I feel like the fact that Sabo and Koala are attack boosters, rather, you know, Luffy, Zoro being all boosters, it's kind of annoying, but they're still really good. I love Luffy Zoro so much. Their Wano slots are broken, of course, and if you can obviously abuse the Wano slots, obviously Wano slots cannot be changed by the enemy, so you can run into certain situations where, you know, the enemy gives you really bad slots, and then what if they have an interrupt to orb manipulation? Well, it doesn't actually matter if you've got Wano slots, right? So it's really cool that they have that type of mechanic, but again, the kind of restriction on them, like even their special, their orb boost only works for Slasher and Free Spirit as well, whereas you got a character like Luffy and Ace, right? Like Luffy and Ace, they're a Free Spirit centric unit, but their special is a 2 times orb boost to all characters, and the orb manipulation that they have with their special is only to Free Spirit units. So if it was something like that, where if their orb boost was for all characters, they would be a lot better, but I still think that Luffy and Zoro are great because the Wano slots are so broken. Soba Mask, T0 for sure. I saw a post on the subreddits talking about Soba Mask is overrated. That is like the biggest glue eater article I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude, if you have Soba Mask and you don't think he's tier 0, I don't think you're using him correctly. He is awesome. He is so good. And the captain action is really good, of course, being able to bypass every defensive effect in the game, including base defense. But personally speaking, I've been using him a lot as a sub under another unit, which we'll talk about a little later in this video. And he's awesome. As a sub, he's one of the best subs in the game, no doubt. You know, full border matching slots and an attack boost. And if you use him correctly, you can get a 2.25 attack boost, 2.5 times attack boost in the same turn. Soba Mask is great. I love him to bits. Lucy, where would we put Lucy? I guess he's kind of in the same tier. He's very, very similar. Very, very similar. But I think he's better because he's Free Spirit. Free Spirit are a lot better than just the Striker Fighter. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with leaving him in tier 2. Not much I can really say about this guy. He's still really good. He's still good to this day. Obviously very centered on Strength X Quick, which is fine. Robin, who is still pretty good, one of the selectable legends. I think tier 3 is a pretty fair spot to put her. Obviously blocks all damage. She's an attack booster for Cerebral with her special. She's a Cerebral attack boosting captain. So she is her crew's own dedicated attack booster. But when you got Sabo and Koala, Robin is essentially useless. There's only very certain circumstances where blocking all damage is going to be very good. But outside of that, yeah, Robin, I think tier 3 is a pretty fair spot to put her. I mean, you could probably put her tier 2 and I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I think tier 2 is probably a little bit more fair. Because her captain ability is still pretty good. And she is a Cerebral captain. Cerebral probably the best class in the game. Or one of the best classes right now. Yeah, I don't really care about Robin that much. I don't use her that much, but she is good on paper, right? She is good. Nami Robin, I just pulled this unit during the Sugo Fest, and I haven't used them yet. So I don't know where to put them. So I think last tier list, I had them in tier 1. As of right now, I have not used them yet. I literally have not put them on a single team yet. But I will be doing a showcase video very soon for them. I don't know when, but I will be doing one. And I guess my opinion will change, or it might stay the same, depending on how that showcase goes. But on paper, right now, I would leave them in tier 1. I still think they're relatively good on paper, and they have some really interesting mechanics. And they're only going to be getting better when time goes on, when we get the release of the Dex and the Int Super Type Legends. These units are going to be very, very good for them. For Katakuri and for kids specifically, Nami Robin is one of the most essential subs for those teams to make those Super Type Legends even better than what they already are. So, really, really good unit to have. Pudding. Now, last tier list, I put Pudding into tier 4. Now, obviously, that was a bit of a meme, but I personally speaking, I think she's tier 3. Number 1, her captain ability is pretty bad, honestly. For a 2020 legend, I don't think her captain ability stands out that much. And then her special ability, it is good under certain circumstances. It's not a special that you can just shoehorn into a team and expect it to be good. But in very certain circumstances, she is a god tier sub. But the amount of times that those circumstances show up is just not often enough for me to consider her a top tier legend. I do think she's just okay. So that's where I would put Pudding for now. Obviously, as time goes on, if those situations where she becomes more useful are more prevalent, then yeah, she'll get bumped up. But for now, I don't think she's all that. Next is Arlong crew. We're moving into some new boys right here. Actually, let's leave the new boys for last. Let's go to the new ones. I think that this Whitebeard is tier 1. Powerhouse Striker Captain, same as Kaido, good hybrid, great special, can block damage, removes Despair, removes Burn, great unit across the board, high ass multipliers as well, like 4.5, hello, very, very good. Not really much else I can really say. He's a really good unit, and he's basically better than nearly every unit here, I would say. Yeah, I probably would say that. Pretty exceptional character, so yeah, I think I'm quite comfortable leaving him in tier 1, for sure. Who else do we have? We got V3 Cruzan, who I still haven't pulled yet, unfortunately. I'm really hoping I get him soon. I'm going to leave him in tier 2. Good. Do I think he's better than every character here in tier 1? Honestly, probably not. I don't know, man. V3 Cruzan's a bit of a weird one. See, he can output a lot of damage. The only problem that I personally see on paper with V3 Cruzan is that he has no health boost and no damage reduction. So in high level content, he is going to be relatively tricky to use. And if there are stages with multiple mobs that all will do some pretty serious damage to you, that's going to be kind of a bad thing for him. At the same time though, he is a strength, dex, and quick boosting captain, which means that you can actually hybrid him up pretty good. But at the same time, because he is a chain boosting captain, if you hybrid him, he's not going to be as good, right? Like, you really want to hybrid the two. You don't really want to hybrid him at all. You would rather have the double Cruzan because your chain multiplier is going to go through the roof. Rather than if you hybrid him up and you'll have one character that gives an attack boost and one character that gives a chain boost, you'd rather have the higher chain boost overall. I don't know the maths behind it, but I feel like that should be the way that you use Cruzan. I guess for now, I'll leave him tier 1 because he does have a good special, there's no doubt, but I haven't used him, so I can't really say whether or not where I put him in tier 1 or tier 2. I guess I'll leave him here for now, but this is tentative. This could definitely change. Let's go for Kung Fu Luffy. I'm going to leave him in tier 4. Tier 3. Tier 4? Tier 3. Tier 4 for now. Tier 4 for now. I do think he's good, though. He got his support effect as well, which is pretty interesting. All right, new boys. Let's start off with Marco. I'm going to put Marco in tier 4. Tier 3? I know his captain ability got a lot better. Let's have a look at Marco's captain effect. 30% if you're above 70%. 4 times flat if you're above half. 3.5 otherwise. Tier 4. Tier 4. Even though he got his 6+, his special is a little bit better. It gives you a higher orb boost, and it gives you still that full heal, which is good. But the captain effect is still fine. Only boosting quick and Psy is fine. I guess when super type becomes more prevalent, he might see a little bit more usage as a hybrid captain if you don't get the super type captain yourself. But outside of that, I don't know if I'd put him higher than tier 4 for now. Okay, let's go with Arlong crew. Now, a lot of people asking me on my stream today when I was streaming some Treasure Cruise stuff, they were saying, where would I put Arlong on the tier list? Now, the thing about Arlong is his captain ability is... Look, I'm not a big fan of Arlong, personally speaking. I just don't think he is... I don't think he's a top tier unit. His captain effect is a real big downer because you do need one of every color on your team, and then even if you do fulfill that condition, you're only getting 4.25. Like, I don't understand why they release a character like this, which has such a strict condition and only gives you 4.25, and then you release Shanks crew, which is a rainbow captain that can go up to 4.5. I literally don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. Saying that though, he has a very good special, a rainbow 2x attack boost, and if you're below 30%, a 2.5 times attack boost to all characters, right? So that can be put on a lot of different teams. And he himself is really good classes. He's a powerhouse shooter, powerhouse slasher, powerhouse slasher. So obviously being powerhouse is a big thing. But at the same time, you know, if you need some sort of way to boost your powerhouse characters, more often than not, you'd rather use Sanji and Judge rather than this guy to boost your character's attack, because you're getting an all boost on top of it from the same unit. So personally speaking, I don't think Arlong is crazy good. I want to tentatively put him here in tier 2, but that might go up or down depending on how things go. You can't deny though, as a captain, he is very fast, obviously. 3 turns of special cooldown at the start of the fight is no joke. Double Arlong is 3 turns, so that's 6. And then 8 turns if you have the socket, and then if you use the Germa ship, that's an additional 2 turns. 10 turns of cooldown at the start of the fight is absolutely bonkers. And he himself has a 12 turn cooldown himself, right? So you can use his special very quickly. So he does have some really cool, you know, mechanics around him, but unfortunately, it just seems as if Shanks crew is just way too good. And speaking of the man Shanks crew, he's an easy tier 0, no doubt in my mind, and he is not moving from tier 0 for a very long time. This unit is way too good. And as I said before, we were talking about Bullet, how I said if we just look on paper in terms of captain effects, Bullet is probably the best captain effect in the game. The only character that I would say rivals it in just in terms of raw captain effect alone, in terms of text, this guy is the only guy that I would say would rival it. Just this block of text as a captain effect is bonkers, right? I'm sure all of you guys know what Shanks does, but just to reiterate, Rainbow 4.5 attack, Rainbow 1.2 health. Quick Insight Orbs are beneficial, 20% damage reduction, always resist 10 turns of special bind, and then depending on how many perfects you hit, deal 1,000 times attack in typeless damage to all enemies at the end of the turn. So buffed V2 Akainu, 20% damage reduction with a 20% health boost, beneficial slots, silence removal, like... This unit's way too good. And then you have this as well. Like, this switch effect is nutty, especially as a sub. You can have up to 3 beneficial slots as a sub, 2 as a captain, and a rainbow 1.5 attack boost. And then you have the special on top of it as well, which can give you chain lock. The same chain lock that Big Mom can give you, but for multiple turns. And remember, because a chain lock is classified as a debuff for your team, when the enemy removes your beneficial effects, it doesn't remove it. The enemy literally cannot remove this from your team. Yeah, T0. Now, the final character, honestly, Trafalgar Law, I might be a bit biased here, but Trafalgar Law is my favorite legend in the game right now. I think, right now on Global, he is without a doubt, tier 0. He's insane. The fact is, 25% damage reduction all the time with double, like, let's bring up the calculator. Are we going to do it? Are we going to do it, dude? Where's the calculator? Here it is. Okay, right? So, 100% damage taken versus 25% damage reduction, and then if you have double law, another 25% damage reduction, and then you have the damage reduction sockets, and then you have the Megalo ship, right? Because you can use it because the Captain Sai, which is another 10% damage reduction. So you're already, you know, you're only taking what, 45% of normal damage, and then if you have the switch ability of a Vankoven Bon Clay, you can resist another 20%. So you can already see, you're only taking 36% of the normal damage that you would take, and that's with the switch effect active, of course. If you get rid of that, 45% or 45.5% of normal damage taken, right? So the amount of tankiness this guy has is already very strong. But then you add on top of it, he has 1,500 healing per turn, and that's with double law, that's 3,000 healing per turn, 4,000 with auto heal. Dude, this guy's nuts. And the fact is, with his captain effect, he boosts 3 classes, I was gonna say 4, 3 classes by 4 times if you're at full HP, which I will admit, the full HP thing, it's not gonna happen often, But if you have specials to heal you, which you definitely can with the classes that he boosts, Limited Rare Recruit Bonnie, Shirahoshi Mancherry, Marco 6+, which we just talked about a little earlier, wherever I put him. He's down here somewhere. There's lots of characters, because he boosts Free Spirit, Strikers, and Fighters. A lot of good characters there. And he's special, bro. His special is nutty. Rainbow 2.25 orb boost, great orb manipulation, very, very much the same as Cracker in terms of orb manipulation, and he gives that chain buff effect. I don't know what to call it. It's just way too good, where when you launch the special, it's this thing here. Yeah, if your captain is a Free Spirit, Driven, Cerebral, or Powerhouse, your base chain starts at 2.5 for 2 turns. So it means that your first attacking hit is going to start off at a 2.5 times chain, and then you go to 2.8, 3.1, and you end off at like a 4 times multiplier or something. So that plus an orb boost, and it's for 2 turns? Bro, come on. And I used him to clear Revolutionary Army too. I've already made a video about it. Like, this guy is just insane right now. On JP, I don't know where I'd probably rank him on the JP in terms of the legends, but now, right now on Global, without a doubt tier 0. Yes, for sure. This unit is so good. And as I said, my favorite legend right now. And as we mentioned before with Soba Mask, this combination, these two together, oh my god, this guy's a captain with Soba Mask sub is nuts. The fact, like, this guy gives you the orb boost and the chain effect. This guy gives you your orbs, your full board of orbs, and an attack boost. Like, this is too good. This is actually too good. Like, lore is insane. So that's my opinions on Trafalgar lore, which I've already talked about extensively in previous videos. But there we go. That's my tier list right now. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this tier list. I think this tier list is very reminiscent of where I'd rank these legends right now. So that's going to wrap up this video today. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know down below in the comment section. This was a really long video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.